All right, so this one's gonna be a good one, and people love this topic, but I think they love it for the wrong reason. You know what I'm saying? Because try to blast everybody. But here we go. There's a difference between being old and being mature. Okay, there's a difference between. I'll say it again. There's a difference between being old and being mature. Now, let me preface it with this. Both of them are a blessing, right? Both of them are a blessing because being old is a gift, especially in the times that we're in now where a lot of people are losing their life very young. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not even getting a chance to experience life, to experience like the freedoms of making their own decisions, like doing something wrong and being forgiven from it, like receiving grace from things and changing your life around. Like people are making like detrimental decisions at young ages and not being able to see, what it is to come out of those things. So like being old is a blessing, like you got there, and being mature is a blessing. So let's talk about being old. What is being old? Being old is basically escaping death. Like in short, like yo, which I why I said it's a blessing. Like every day that you escape death, you are growing in your age. There's no choice for you. Like there's no choice with being old. Like you can't say like next year is not gonna be my birthday. I'm not gonna grow in age. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna stay where I'm at. No, you can't make that decision. Every day that you're alive, you are getting older. You know what I'm saying? Like that is a reality. Every day that you are alive, you are getting older. Let that sink in. And guess what? It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Okay? Because you have survived. Like, yo, a lot of us see ourselves as defeated, not understanding that we are survivors. We are survivors of tons of days, hundreds and thousands of days in order to reach the age that we're at. So being being old is escaping death. That's just it. But it's not. It is a choice in that of staying alive. But you don't have a choice to say I'm not gonna grow in age. Like it's just gonna happen the more that you're alive. Okay. Now, being mature is a decision. Being mature is processing information. The way that you process information builds up your maturity. Okay. The way you take in information builds up your maturity. Now, the real application of maturity is not only processing information, but how you apply it to your everyday life. And there's some people that struggle with that. Most challenges and most examples for maturity comes when what you desire to happen doesn't happen. How can you process disappointment? I think that's kind of like the bedrock of maturity. How you accept things not going your way. Prime example, I have two children. My son right now is 9 years old, and my daughter is 5. She's about to be 6. Now, same situation. Both of them, they're watching TV before they go to bed. We tell one, all right, yo, it's time to go to bed. Shut the TV down. You know what I'm saying? My oldest son may be disappointed. Oh, I really want to watch it. We like, yeah, but like you could watch it tomorrow. He's like, all right, and then he'll cut it off, go upstairs, go to sleep. My daughter, who's younger, she may say, "Oh, but I really want to finish it. I really want to finish it." No, but you go watch it tomorrow. But she'll go upstairs, but she may stomp her feet. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know as a parent, like, don't be stomping your feet on my steps. Like, don't do that. And then she may try to like slam her door or something because like the way that she's processing this information, she's really having a hard time doing it. Now, what maturity does, maturity keeps the end game in mind, right? So the end game is I want to watch this show. Immaturity sabotages the end game for the expression of the moment. The expression of the moment is I want to start my feet, I want to slam the door, I want to fight for this moment in order to ruin the end game. So as that continues, one of the many threats that come her way is like, yo, so tomorrow you're not watching TV. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep it up, you won't watch it for the rest of the week. You want to keep it up, no TV forever. You just never going to watch TV. You know what I'm saying? And what that does is for her being immature, it ruins her end game. She doesn't get what she wants. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of messes her up. Fast forward to real life, right? Real life is again how you handle disappointments. And a lot of people have ruined their end game based on their lack of maturity to handle disappointment. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference, man. Like, and what's crazy is like in society, we give privileges for being old, but there's no real way to gauge maturity. Meaning, like, yo, when you turn 16, I believe, and in most states and scenarios, you could get like your learner's permit. You know what I'm saying? Like you could start revving up to start trying to drive. When you're 18, you could drive things of that nature. You get your license. At 21, you could drink. You know what I'm saying? Like different things. Like these age set in stone requirements that like yo at this point in your age you should be mature enough to do this. But what happens is there's no way to measure maturity. So they're guessing that by an age, someone would be at a level of maturity. And what's happening is that people are growing older, but they're not growing mature. So now we have an imbalance in society because we have people who are of age with freedoms and privileges, but they don't have check-in points for maturity. So now you have corruption. It's corruption not only in society, but corruption within. Because it's like, yo, I want to do things, but because I can't endure kind of like the process in doing it, like my maturity level it just corrupts what I want to do. You know, you got people working at jobs saying, "You think I care if I get fired?" Like, if you didn't care if you didn't get fired, you wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to have some level of caring because you're here. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, nah, my maturity kind of like it can't have me put the end game in mind through obstacles. You know what I'm saying? So the question would be, and this is a difficult question, like, how can we measure maturity? How can we measure maturity in a way that people can grow not only old, but grow mature? And I think the best way, which again, this is a difficult question because it's like, yo, how do you measure it? You know? But I think there is a way that is a safeguard for that. And I would say like the best way to help ensure maturity is through community. Community? What do you mean? Like you talking about like like my neighbor? Nah, I'm talking about your circle, your friends. Because like yo, all of us have friends in our circle that the way they move and the way they do things, it's not real mature. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't do it like that. You wouldn't even suggest anybody else to do it like that. And what happens is because we love them so much, we turn away from conflict. We turn away from conflict and challenging them. So you got friends and relationships that's in your life that you say, "Oh, well, that's just the way such and such is. That's just the way Terry is. Like that's just the way Cheryl is." And like you're giving them a pass for so long, but guess what? When new people come in that circle, when new people come in that situation, they not giving them a pass. Terry, you too old to be doing that. Sherry, you too old to be doing that, right? Because they're associating age with maturity. But what's happening is they don't have the people in their life because their community has been loving them improperly. I think the best way to love someone is to protect them from themselves. The best way to love someone is to protect them from themselves. So if you know your friend has a bad attitude, I know it's going to be a difficult conversation, but you're not doing them justice not mentioning that they should be working on their attitude, that they should be working on the way that they process information. They should be working on the way that they process things. You're not being a good friend, especially if you know it. You know what they doing. You know it. You know what they doing is wrong. And in most situations, people would not tolerate it. But you're allowing them to rock because you're like, yo, that's just them. No, that's just what they've been allowed to be. And they just need somebody to challenge them. So I want to encourage you guys, man. Like, we're in a society that expects maturity with age, but we have to be a community of people that ensures that the loved ones that we have are also growing in maturity through us being intentional, not being like a nitpicker and saying like, yo, you do that, you do that, you do that. You know what I'm saying? Not doing it, becoming a hater of our community, but doing it in a way that builds the people that we love so that they could be presented in a proper way. That way, when they go into the workforce, they're prepared. They're prepared. Like, yo, man, it's the hardest thing, man, when you go into the workforce and somebody your boss and you're not mature, you're gonna take everything as offensive. You're not keeping the end game in mind. Do your time, serve, and then go home. Be free. Think about the reward. So we got to learn, man. And hopefully, like, we're doing that as we develop and grow. And oh, here's my last thing. This is why I said people enjoy this conversation, because people enjoy this conversation because when I say, yo, there's a difference between age and maturity, everybody would say yes. Like, yo, it's true because there's some immature people. But like every person who enjoys this conversation always thinks externally to somebody that they know. But we don't internally embody, like, yo, is my maturity level matching my age? Ooh. Are you at the mature place that you need to be? But guess what? We give ourselves a pass. Like, yo, God ain't through with me yet, right? Like, yo, I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? But that's something I'm just working on. Not like, are you really working on it? Like, maturity comes through being intentional. Are you really working on it? Are you really getting to the place that you can say, like, yo, I'm every day I get older, but every day I also get more mature about processing information and keeping the end game in mind. Maturity is attached to your discipline. Undisciplined life, that shows your level of maturity. I know I could work on my maturity. I know I need to work on my maturity. Do you believe the same thing about you? I want to encourage you, man. Don't just get old and don't grow in maturity. Be old and wise. Let's work on that maturity. All right. That's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. Take care.